Hey there, what careers are good for writers? Grant writing, have you considered this? Maybe not, and I'd like to introduce that to you. What is grant writing? It's where you help an organization that's doing something meaningful and inspiring get funding for their great work that they don't have to pay back. So in this video, I'm going to be running through the top five reasons why I want to paint the case that you should consider getting into grant writing if you're a writer and you're looking to figure out some of your other career options. All right, let's hit it. Okay, number one, there is a shortage of talented grant writers. You can't believe the horror stories we've heard about people that have hired grant writers, and then they did a terrible job, or it just didn't meet their expectations, right? Like, there is a shortage. And then we're getting asked chronically for referrals, which we do. We refer people that are members of our Grant Writing Unicorn Collective so they get matched up, but it's just a chronic thing. People always need help doing this. It's not a skill you're born knowing how to do. It's a very unique person that can be a grant writer. I think you have it in you, but that's just the reality. There's a shortage, there's an opportunity for you. Number two, there is a shift in the way people are employed, right? These are huge shifts. Something like over 50% of our workforce by 2027 will be contractors. This is a big change. And it is hard for an organization to have grant writers full time. They usually carry some other weight on their shoulders or wear a couple different hats. Maybe they do the grant administration as well. So the challenge with that, of course, is that's just a lot on one person. It's a lot for that organization to afford. Not to say they don't do it. The average salary for a grant writer is $69,000, so not bad. It definitely obviously goes up from there. But if you're interested in figuring out how can I freelance, how can I side hustle, how can I do this as a retirement gig, or how can I do this so I can van life and travel, how can I do this as a mom so I can be home with my kids, that's kind of the area that's our zone of genius. And you can do it because there is more opportunities that is now being contracted out for grant writing instead of having that paid for in-house with the position. Number three, grant writing is a very fulfilling career because it allows you to have a fulfilling lifestyle. And I don't believe that your work life and your personal life should be these two totally different orbits. We really believe in synchronizing those so that it's one whole experience, right? You are the holistic you that you are. So what's so fulfilling about it? What's nice is that it has a lot of peaks and valleys. So grant writing often has 2-3 weeks of just intense, dig it in deep, get your butt to work, late nights, etc. But then you come out of that and you have breathing room. Take it. Take that week. One of the most common things, like the cycle I see a lot of our grant writers get into, and I did as well, when I was consulting, was work hard for 7 weeks, take a week to recharge. Work hard for 7 weeks, take a week to recharge. If you add that up, that's a whole lot more than the 2 weeks vacation time you're getting when you're working a normal 9-to-5 job, right? Or, okay, you need a break, go take 3 hours and do a hike, work in the evening, right? There's just so much more flexibility. I think what it comes down to is this is a career where you can really build around energy management, not time management, where you're supposed to fit like productivity in these predetermined wacky hours that most of us don't work in. I don't know anyone who's like, I am optimized at 2 p.m. Like, no one ever said that, right? So it's just a really fulfilling career, and I think you'll like it. Aside from the fact that you have an amazing lifestyle, the work is meaningful, right? The organizations you choose to work with fire you up. They give you a sense of why, a passion. It's incredibly fun. Just fun to become dangerously knowledgeable about a lot of topics. You're a fabulous person to have a dinner party. All right, number four. If you're a writer, maybe you're copywriting. Maybe you have, you write some blogs or ghostwrite or magazine edit, right? Whatever it is you do. And it takes a lot of those contracts to add up to feed you. And what's so lovely about grant writing is that it's higher contracts, higher contract value, so you need less clients, you have less transition switching costs exhausting you, right? So you only need 5 clients in a year. And you're good to go, because a lot of our contracts were, we had some that were recurring, like at a $40,000 contract held for 3 years. Every year, count on it to be, presented with, hey, we need some help grant writing. Here's an opportunity. it was wonderful, right? So you can start to build those where the average grant size, the average contract size is, you know, $2,000 to $20,000. Obviously, it depends on what clients you're working with and the work that you're doing, but you can absolutely build a six-figure consulting business out of grant writing because you don't need a gajillion contracts. The other thing, if you're thinking, no, I really just want to get this as a so I can land a new job, that's fine too. Just recognize there's a lot of value in learning how to freelance first so you can get the experience. So go make $5,000 grant writing. It's like, hey, that's sweet extra cash for you. But what's more important is that you actually just got paid to learn a new skill, and now you can use that as a talking piece to land a full-time job. That's what I did, and it works great, and a lot of our students are doing it as well. What was the other thing I wanted to add? The other thing you can do that's kind of cool with this is what careers can you get into. If you have other things that you're super passionate about, you can be strategic in getting that work funded by knowing how to write a grant. So maybe you want to work on a documentary with a really interesting nonprofit and this other creative group, and it's just a passion project for you. Well, go secure some grant funding for it because you're going to know how, and you can pay yourself and pay others in that role, like in developing a project that's meaningful. Obviously, it does need to be tied usually to a nonprofit and some sort of clear problem you're solving. That's another conversation. But you can use grant writing as a business development tool to get funding to do the things you love. So a lot of different angles to come at this from. Okay, number 5. No degree is required. No student loan debt. No working your butts off on degrees that you don't or classes that you're not actually sure what you're getting out of it and how it applies to the real world. None of that, right? You can get into it really super quickly. So get online. There's going to be a ton of online grant writing courses that are available to you. You need to figure out what it is that interests you. If you're the type that's, yes, I'm curious how I actually get paid to do this and build a business around it, we have the Grant Writing Unicorn Collective. I will link a training on that below so you can learn about it. But it's a year-long program to help you pull off a career transition with an online course for your technical training, then the twice monthly coaching calls, and of course the coolest unicorn community group there ever was. So the whole point is you can pull this off, and it's a less of a cost than one credit in a graduate program. So you can do this, you can build a career. So if you're already a writer or you have some existing skill set and you want to pivot that into grant writing and develop that sort of niche subset skill set, you can do it. All right, so to recap, number 1, there is a shortage of talented grant writers. You are needed. Number 2, there's a switch globally to more contract-based work. Position yourself to understand this new model so that you can benefit. Number 3, it's a fulfilling work. It's a fulfilling life. Love the grant writing world, and I think you're going to love it as well. Number 4, you can have higher contracts, meaning less clients, lower switching costs, and just a more profitable business. And then number 5, no degree is required. All right, so that's it. Drop any comments that you might have in the comment section below. Hit subscribe if you liked this video, and I will catch you next time. See ya.